Sarah married young. She was barely out of girlhood when she stepped into womanhood, with vows, responsibilities, and children arriving sooner than dreams had the chance to fully form. Life did not wait for her to discover herself. Instead, it handed her a family to build. When her husband, David, expressed the desire to further his education, Sarah did not hesitate. She believed in vision. She believed in sacrifice. Most importantly, she believed in partnership. "I will hold the home," she told him. "When you are done, it will be my turn." And she meant it. For nearly a decade, Sarah carried the weight of their household. She worked 2, sometimes 3 jobs. Her mornings began before sunrise and ended long after the children were asleep. Her once soft hands grew calloused from scrubbing floors, cooking endless meals, and managing every unpaid bill with surgical precision. She budgeted. She stretched. She sacrificed. The degree David eventually framed and hung proudly on the living room wall had been paid for not only with tuition, but with her postponed dreams. She waited for her turn, but the silence that followed his graduation was not celebratory. It was heavy, unsettling, different. The changes came subtly at first. David began sending his shirts to the dry cleaner, a luxury they had never afforded. Networking dinners became frequent. Late nights carried the scent of expensive cologne and ambition. He spoke of boardrooms, intellectual debates, corporate strategy. He spoke of a world that seemed to exist miles away from scraped-together groceries and parent-teacher meetings. And slowly, Sarah began to feel like an artifact from his past. The breaking point did not arrive with shouting or betrayal. It came quietly, on a Tuesday afternoon. David found the university applications she had hidden carefully beneath their bed. She had circled deadlines in red ink, the same pen she used to mark school events for the children. He held the pamphlets in his hands and sighed. "Sarah," he said gently, almost pityingly, "don't be ridiculous. You already have a degree in home economics. You've built a beautiful home. The children need you. We've worked too hard for stability to disrupt everything now." His words sounded kind, but the meaning was devastating. Your turn is over. That moment rewrote her history. The sleepless nights helping him study, the missed family gatherings, the dreams quietly folded and placed away like old clothes. It had never been a partnership. It had been a stepping stone. That night, Sarah did not cry. She lay awake beside him, listening to his steady breathing, and began mentally accounting, not of money, but of strength, of skills, of assets, of resilience. Before dawn, she rose. Instead of brewing coffee, she sat at the small desk in the living room and began to write. Not a plea, not a negotiation, but a plan. She enrolled in evening classes for civil engineering. The qualifications had always been there. The only thing that had paused her journey was motherhood. Now she refused to pause any longer. When she told David, she did not ask permission. "I've enrolled," she said calmly. He smiled indulgently. "Let's see how long this lasts." It lasted. Her alarm began ringing at 4 a.m. She prepared meals, organized the children, and ensured the house ran seamlessly before leaving for her day job in data entry. She hired a nanny, Mrs. Gable, a firm but compassionate woman who became the bridge between Sarah's two worlds. In the evenings, she walked into lecture halls filled with students younger than her. She ignored the whispers, ignored the stares. Calculus became clarity. Structural design became metaphor. She was no longer just supporting structures. She was learning to build them. David, once supportive in theory, grew uneasy in reality. He boasted about her ambition in public, yet at home he forgot school meetings, scheduled loud calls during her study hours, and questioned her endurance. But Sarah had crossed an invisible threshold. There was no returning. Her children noticed the shift, too. Her daughter once slipped a drawing into her textbook, a stick figure in a hard hat labelled Mommy the Engineer. Sarah kept it folded in her wallet. The hardest test came during thermodynamics midterms. A storm cut the electricity. She studied by candlelight while David watched in quiet disbelief. "Accept it," he muttered. "You have a family." She looked up, calm and unwavering. "I am building one." 5 years passed, not gently but purposefully. The graduation ceremony was not just an achievement, it was restoration. When her name was called, followed by first-class honours, the applause felt like thunder breaking years of silence. She did not look at David first. She looked at her children. She looked at Mrs. Gable. She looked at the woman she had become. Before her certificate was officially printed, her phone began vibrating with emails from engineering firms, respected companies that designed bridges, highways, and skylines she once admired from a distance. Job offers followed. David read the messages over her shoulder. This time, there was no indulgent smile. There was uncertainty, because the world had shifted. Sarah did not celebrate loudly. She did not confront him. She did not accuse. Instead, she practiced the quiet art of letting go of the need for validation, letting go of the girl who believed sacrifice guaranteed reciprocity, letting go of a version of marriage that existed only in her hope. She accepted the job offer. She opened her own bank account. She drafted new boundaries. And one evening, sitting across from David at the same kitchen table where she had once asked for permission to dream, she spoke with clarity. "I supported your future because I believed in partnership. I pursued mine because I believe in myself. Whether this marriage evolves depends on whether you can stand beside me, not above me." The art of letting go was not about abandoning her family. It was about releasing the illusion that she had to shrink to be loved. Some endings are loud, others are disciplined. Sarah chose discipline, and in doing so, she did not just build structures of steel and concrete. She built a life where her daughter would never have to ask for her turn. There is a proverb from Africa that says, "Until the lion learns to write, every story will glorify the hunter." For too long, Sarah's story was written in the margins of someone else's success. Her sacrifices were footnotes. Her dreams were postponed chapters. But when she chose herself, she did not destroy her home. She rewrote her narrative. Across the world, in every culture, there are stories like hers. In Japan, they speak of kintsugi, the art of repairing broken pottery with gold, making it more beautiful in its restoration than in its original form. Sarah was not broken. She was reforged. Every crack became a line of strength. In India, there is the story of the bamboo tree that grows underground for years before it shoots upward in a matter of weeks. For 5 unseen years, Sarah was building roots, discipline, knowledge, resilience, before rising beyond expectation. In Latin America, they say, "They tried to bury us. They didn't know we were seeds." Every dismissal, every doubt, every quiet sabotage. They were not graves. They were soil. And so the lesson is clear. Support should never require self-erasure. Love should never demand smallness. Partnership should never silence potential. The art of letting go is not about walking away in bitterness. It is about releasing fear, releasing limitation, releasing the belief that your season has passed. Because there is no expiration date on purpose. Sarah's story is not only about education, it is about identity. It is about equity. It is about raising children who witness courage instead of quiet resignation. And perhaps the greatest truth of all is this: when one woman rises, she does not rise alone. She lifts generations. Let this story echo wherever it is heard: in small homes, in lecture halls, in marriages standing at crossroads. May it remind us that sacrifice must never be permanent, that dreams deferred are not dreams denied, and that the most powerful structure any human being can build is the courage to stand in their own becoming. Rise, rewrite, reclaim, because your turn is never over.